Welcome back, everyone, to the second ever Angry Chicken Patreon Hangout, where we will be taking live calls from our wonderful patrons and taking questions live about Hearthstone, or maybe not about Hearthstone. Maybe you just want to ask us how our day is going.
That's a valid question.
That would be a valid question, as long as there is a question mark at the end of whatever you're yapping at us. It's fine. And it looks like we're getting our first call, guys, already. So we're gonna add them to the call, and hopefully this won't explode.
Okay.
Oh my God, it didn't explode. You are on the Angry Chicken. Welcome.
Hello. Wow, that worked. First time.
I cannot believe it. Yeah, it's working really well. What is your name and where are you from?
I'm Callum. I'm calling from Scotland.
Scotland?
That's
literally just got the internet on in my new place like an hour ago. So
Callum,
ready for this.
when you said you were from Scotland, your video was still loading, and in my head, I'm like, there's no way he could look stereotypically Scottish. And then it loads in, and I'm looking at this epic red beard. Congratulations, Callum.
I just accepted the video. Wow. Yes. That is a sweet beard, my friend.
Wow,
Yes,
that puts this pathetic thing on my face to shame. Like,
yes, it does.
Just well done, sir. Well
It's all
done.
right. It's not a competition, Garrett. It's okay.
Everything's a competition.
This is 2 weeks, folks. I haven't shaved in 2 weeks, and this is just sad.
I'll drink to his beard.
Anyway, Callum,
I'll drink. What we drink here.
What?
Iron brew. It's made from girders.
It's in what looks like a 2-liter soda bottle.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's alcoholic?
Oh God, no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
worse than that.
All right. Gotcha. I'm like, damn, you guys know how to
I don't
party.
think that is, but all right.
Anyway, what's your question, Callum?
First thing, Garrett. Let's talk guitars.
Talk guitars?
What's your setup?
Oh, well, I used to I used to have an Ibanez half stack that was stolen by my last drummer. So now I have a tiny little combo crate that I stole from my cousin who was no longer using it. But as far as guitars are concerned, I've got a Gibson Les Paul, a Fender Stratocaster, and a Washburn acoustic.
So I hate you. My parents bought me a Marshall amp for my Christmas one year.
Oh, I hate you
because they don't understand. It's only like a 15-watt one, but because they don't understand, they bought me the limited edition silver one, and it's just not as cool.
The silver sounds kind of badass, though. I mean, yeah, okay, it's not a half stack, but
Yeah, the Marshalls, you got to go with the stack. This is actually,
It's not as
I know you didn't ask me, but I'm just going to go ahead and tilt this over there. There's my bass rig chilling by the
is
TV.
that an Ampeg?
It's an Ampeg, an SVT, and then there's a 4x10 on top, and then an SWR single 15-inch speaker on the bottom. And that is a full stack, and that's what I practice on because I'm not in a band anymore, so it just sits in my room.
sweet.
If you're watching the live
And I
stream,
destroy my neighbors.
I'm holding up my Strat, which has accrued many, many stickers over the years. This was the first guitar I bought with my own money. Things was made in Mexico, and it's held up way better than my American Gibson. This thing is a trooper.
Fair enough. Well, I have a Hearthstone question as well,
Shoot.
right.
and it's a conspiracy theory.
Oh.
Basically, I feel like Hearthstone is out to get me.
Okay.
And it's not just me. My girlfriend thinks the same, because we both play Hearthstone. And whenever we try and play the class that is popular, it never works. But then as soon as you switch to something else, that same class will kick your ass like 3 times in a row. So explain to me, people who know better things about games, how have Blizzard successfully programmed this into the game?
Well,
Clearly, they are out to get just specifically you. So there's literally one dev that's just sitting there going, "He'll never see this coming." RNG.
Ben Brode.
I think the way Hearthstone works is a very rock paper scissors kind of game. So if you pick up the class that's supposedly the best class at the time, you kind of have to have done it before it shifts to where everybody starts playing the class that's meant to beat that class. And if you're just a second late, then it seems like that class sucks, and then it cycles again, and then you switch back, and suddenly that class is good again. So it's just, yeah, Hearthstone's weird like that, because, you know, if you play like PvP and WoW, you know, you can do okay with a single class for a long time, just, you know, whatever. But in Hearthstone, it's always one-on-one, and it's just very rock, paper, scissors. So you got to be one step ahead of the meta. It's not easy to do. That's why some people are really good at the game.
That being said,
and you have to know your class too. You can't just jump from like priest to warrior to hunter without actually knowing what it is that you're doing. Otherwise, you know, you're going to feel like you're sucking. But it's just like you just have to learn it and know what to look for and know what your plays are going to be ahead of time, instead of just like trying one match with one and one match with another. You know, you have to really learn your class. It's not just a in and out type thing.
No, that's definitely true. Don't give up just because you've lost a few games. You got to kind of stick through the rough going, and then you pop out on the other end, and you know what to do against all the other matchups. And you know, like I thought that I sucked for a long time at Hunter, and now well, obviously it just crushes everything. But you know, I didn't know how to play the deck that crushed everything, and I just played a lot with it, and now it's my best class. Same with Druid. I sucked at Druid for a long time, and I slowly figured things out just by playing a lot of games with it.
Now, all that being said, there are classes that have just kind of stood the test of time. I mean, for the last month or so, I'd say Warrior has been fine. Control Warrior has been pretty damn good the entire time. Zulok has always existed in some form or another as a consistent ladder deck. And until very recently, the Miracle Rogue had 3 months of insurmountable victory.
Yeah. Just unabated, just OP-ness.
Yeah.
Very true.
The Miracle Rogue is still killing it in competitive, though. I think
they are.
The tournament I was watching, and Miracle Rogue was 3-0ing people still.
They still do very good in tournaments because you can, especially now, you can ban Hunter. And actually, Hunter is tough almost for everybody, but there's certain classes that do pretty well against it. I think Priest does okay against Hunter and stuff, but Miracle Rogue is still one of those classes in a tournament you can pick off all the Druids and all that stuff, and the Warriors and whatnot. So still works well there. It's just ladder. Ladder's a different animal.
Yeah, absolutely. What rank are you hovering around, Callum, or your girlfriend as well?
So last season was the first time that my girlfriend's beaten me. Generally, we think we both had seasons where we finished at rank 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so
pretty good. I mean, yeah, that's good.
That's a solid climb.
According to Ben Brode, that's like top
better
tier.
Than most players.
And,
yeah,
that's top tier in Hearthstone.
Yeah, no, just because you're not legend doesn't mean you're like a terrible player. 8 is a very respectable rank to be at.
Yeah,
and that's when you definitely need to start tweaking things and making note of what you're losing to, and then trying to counter it.
Hearthstats. Get some Hearthstats going.
Yeah.
See what your matchups are good against, and then if you're always doing poor against one certain matchup, make a tweak to the deck to better suit that matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, my girlfriend got Hearthstats this month, and I think it's probably contributed in some way to why she beat me for the first time. I'm definitely going to try. I haven't started laddering again this month because, as I say, literally the internet came back on an hour ago. But I'm going to get that going. And hopefully maybe push top 5 this season, but
there you go.
Who knows?
Do it, man.
Well,
just take what we said to heart and try to just push through the rough times, and remember to don't just try to react to the meta, just kind of be proactive. Try to predict and move before they do. It's not easy, but it's a skill that you can figure out. You just got it's something you just got to kind of pay attention to what's going on around you, and Hearthstats helps you do that, obviously.
Well, thanks very much, guys. I'll let you
good luck.
get on. Dills, I look forward to more of your late night / my early morning streams.
Yeah, I do it just for the Scottish, is what I'm thinking about you guys on the other side of the pond when I do that.
So I have to say, this is the first time I've ever seen where Garrett's hat game is beating yours. So you gotta get on top of that.
My what?
Your hat game.
My
Your
hat
game is He's got. I mean, look, my hat's pretty sweet. It's just black and it's dark room. You can't tell how awesome this hat is. That's all.
Mine's like a bizarre canvas material. But Callum, thank you so much for calling in, and good luck getting past. Good luck getting past rank 8. I actually have a quick story. The first time, the only time Katie and I have played one another. Katie is my fiance, for those who don't know. Katie won, and she refuses to ever play me again.
Yeah, because
Clever
she's reached the
girl.
mountaintop.
Yeah. She's like, nope. That's all I need. I'm good. I'm gonna play. I would rather play random strangers who are gonna be crude and terrible to me than you, because screw that. Looks like we have another caller coming in. Welcome to the Angry Chicken. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Morley from Tampa, Florida.
From Florida? Well, hello, sir.
What are the chances?
Florida man calls into Angry
Is
Chicken.
there a
Somehow finds a way to do a lot of drugs and steal things from McDonald's. That's the headline.
the opinions and views of Willie Dills Gregory does not necessarily represent the actions of our callers. Morlu, is there currently a Wrath of God style storm overhead? Because it is coming down here right now.
Not on this side of the bay.
Okay, all right, because I'm only an hour south of you, so, yeah. So, what's up, Morlu? Welcome.
Oh, hey. No. Honestly, not much. I just hadn't participated in the Patron Hangouts.
Nice, man.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Say hi.
Well,
Do you have a question for us, Angry Chickens?
Question for the Angry Chickens. Shoot. Yeah, actually. Kind of a weird one. So earlier today, I was up against a mage trying to hit rank 20, which I finally managed to do this month. He made a terrible misplay and wiped his board and then immediately conceded. Would you prefer your opponent to concede, or would you rather have the thrill of the kill yourself?
Depends.
Jocelyn, I want you to take this one, actually. I want to hear what the Canadian answer to this question is.
Well, you always want the win, but at the same time, man, I love the killing blow. It's so satisfying. Smack them in the face, they explode. It's fantastic.
I see.
But,
okay,
I'm
surprised.
mad at concede though.
I thought you were going to say, I'm glad when they put themselves out of their misery so I don't have to do it.
Oh,
because...
no, man. Swing for the face. Hard.
All right.
I was going to say, for me, it depends on how late in the game it is. If it's pretty early in the game and they screwed up and they want to save me a long game that I would win anyway, feel free, man, because I've got not a lot of time and a lot of ranks to climb.
Sure.
But if I'm like doing my Leroy combo and I'm about to win, I just want to kill you, man. I just want to kill you.
That's so frustrating when like you're just about to get it and you know that like you're in your one or two plays that you have to do the killing blow, and they know that you have like 2 or 3 cards, and as soon as you start to play stuff, they start to hit concede. It's just like, damn it, just let me do it.
I am of the concede. Concede often, concede when you know the game is what. Like, I don't care, just do it. We'll move on to the next game. I play enough Hearthstone games that if you can cut down even the 2 seconds it takes me to drag something over your face, that's 2 extra seconds I got on my next game. So
I definitely don't fault anyone for it, because I for one I'm not against just ending the game when I know there's just no way out.
It's it's a strategy when you're climbing and you're actually attempting to climb too. You have a goal in mind, because a lot of people when they play, they just playing to have fun. I think there's a poll somebody did on the Hearthstone Reddit, and they basically asked, a bunch of questions, and they asked, how do you play this game? And I thought a lot of people on the Reddit were going to say that they try to climb ranks. But as it turns out, even the people who are serious enough about this game to visit the Hearthstone subreddit, most of them still are just playing just to have fun. So they don't give a crap. But if your point of playing is to try to climb ranks, it's all about efficiency. And a game you cannot win. I see like Kalento do this all the time while he's climbing. It's, turn 6 or 7, he realizes the board is completely swung out of his favor. He's not going to be able to get it back with what he's got in his hand. He just gives up and he moves on to the next game, because he knows if he can get the correct start and everything, he needs to maximize his time playing the game. So, I don't really care. I understand why people concede. Sometimes you're just so frustrated you don't want to continue on. Sometimes you just know you lost. Sometimes you're just, mad at something. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. If you concede, it's fine. I'm not mad at you.
Well, thanks for your question, Morlu.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, guys.
Have a good one.
Right on. I'll have a drink to that one. This is my second caller, second shot. I guess we're starting a trend
So
here.
If you're going to take a call for a shot for every caller, I'm concerned for your safety.
Oh, it's already 9:30.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Fair
it's
enough.
only 5:30 for me, Jocelyn.
Well, we've got another caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
This is Cody Hall from Frederick, Maryland, the East Coast.
Hey, Cody, you're on the same time zone as I am.
Very good, very good. I was just curious, well, all of you, but also Willie Dill, since you focus on more of the high-level play. In the subreddits, see so much of Hunter, Hunter, it's so OP, Hunter, Hunter. I get that it is a bit strong, but a lot of times I want to chime in, and there's always kind of a flavor of the week. And yes, again, it is strong, but I find it best to allow the meta to move forward, especially with the Nax cards having only been fully released a week ago. Sure. I was just curious if you personally, or for any three of you personally, feel that any type of nerf may be warranted, or are you or you feel the same way I do, just to let the meta move forward and let it evolve for people figuring out their own answers?
I think this is a fantastic question. I know Blizzard doesn't want to do any more nerfing, and obviously there's gonna come a time when it's gonna have to happen, and I hope that they don't. I hope that they're not just completely stubborn and don't take action when it is necessary. But yeah, you mentioned it's only been a week since the entire set has really been out. People are still playing around with a lot of things. Hunter obviously got stronger with the thing like Web Spinner. Mad Scientist. You can also put Undertaker into that category because they started playing Haunted Creeper, and Undertaker has a lot of synergy now with a lot of their cards. But it will flip, and people will start to figure out how to turn it. I think one of the big factors for the meta currently in the game is a lot of people kind of follow what the high-level players are doing. A lot of those high-level players are mostly focused on tournaments at this point, especially because they're all either qualified for BlizzCon or aren't going to be able to anymore. So it's basically tournament play that's guiding the meta at the highest levels, and they can just ban Hunter now. So a lot of people aren't necessarily concerned with solving Hunter anymore, but at a certain point, that will become the focus of the meta game. It will be to solve the Hunter, and there's plenty of ways to do it. It's just to do it right now kind of requires you to become weaker against the other classes, similar to how it worked with Miracle Rogue for a long time. So it's going to shake out, and we got to a place. I think we've gotten to a place where there are other viable classes. I think it's going to get even better in maybe 3 weeks or so. I think we're going to look and we're going to say there's 6 or 7 really good decks right now. But yeah, I don't think it's time for a nerf yet. They already nerfed Unleash the Hounds back to 3. I don't think there's much else they can really do.
Yeah, it's only been, 2 weeks as of tomorrow that Naxxramas has been fully released?
Yeah.
I would really like to see them give it a little more time for the dust to settle and everyone
I
to kind
think
of
they
get
will.
acquainted.
And I don't think they're going to touch Hounds again. That's the 3rd change to that card.
If
they have to change it again,
it's worse than
have to pull it.
It's worse than the bunker from the beginning of Wings of Liberty. That thing got changed so many times.
I think the problem right now with Hunter, honestly, if I was to look at anything, I would say the problem is Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark it's just really OP because when you start looking at cards to counteract it, it's just tough. Like Lotheb is a pretty good counteraction. Sludge Belcher is pretty good because obviously you get the second taunt that pops out. But outside of that, you basically got this 0 mana card you can hunt for with Unleash the Hounds. And if you get it, you can play it, and if you don't, you can figure out another way to work on the board. So I've heard some people talk about maybe figuring out a way to nerf that. One interesting thing someone said was make it so that you put it on something and it only knocks it down by maybe 3 life or something instead of bringing it all the way down to 1, which would be more in line with what the spell does in actual World of Warcraft, which is basically just increase the damage.
That's
not
a bad idea.
Cool.
You'd have to put a minimum on it as well, though, so that it couldn't reduce a minion below 1.
Yeah, it couldn't outright kill a minion. Sure,
Yeah, like reducing
yeah,
by
because then
3
it's just a
and no less
3
than 1.
damage spell, and that's no fun.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, in the end, it's like a 3. Yeah, so there's other ways to deal with it, but I just don't see them doing it. I don't think it's enough of a problem yet. I think Hunter needs to be on top for a good 2 to 3 months before Blizzard has to say, hold on, what can we do here? And maybe it's not even Hunter's Mark. Maybe it's not Unleash Out. Maybe it's Savannah Highmanes. I don't know.
No. Don't you touch my high main.
I'm right there with you, Jocelyn. I love me some high main. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
I did have one other real quick, small question, both for Willie Dills and, sorry, I'm bad with names, Garrett. Yeah, I know collecting all the cards. I obtained the complete set of the normal cards back in December. I'm up to 80% of the golden cards.
Wow.
Since those last, I have half of the legendaries and only a quarter of the epics. I was just curious how you guys are coming along.
I've got a ways to go still.
It's expensive.
Okay. Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, okay, so I have all the cards. But I'm not going to spend real money to acquire gold cards. But for me, it's slowed down considerably as I've been playing a lot more ranked play because you're not earning dust the way I did when I was playing a lot of arena. I think at this point though, I'm leaning more towards just playing arena again. I haven't been able to test out arena with all the Nax cards enough to feel like I have an understanding of how that meta has changed. So I'll probably be doing a lot more of that, but I think I'm all the cards, and I think maybe a quarter of my cards are gold cards at this point. Maybe that's a very rough estimate. So that's a long way to go too, because when you talk about it's what 400% more to craft the gold versions of all the cards. It's
the gold legendaries are killer.
Yeah.
Like as in hard, very hard. Those are trying to get luck on and just opening them packs.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But yeah, I've got quite a ways to go. I'm still missing quite a few legendaries and even a few epics.
You know what I would love to see, and if you're a guy who's a card collector, I'm sure you agree is a way to just have. So if I have 2 gold cards, just remove the 2 regular cards like from the main list or something, and just have it kind of be easy to see the full number that I have of gold without having to click this checkbox that says only show gold. It's just it doesn't give me a good enough representation of my collection. I want more collection tools, more ways to view my collection and sort it. It would be really cool if they'd add some of that. Obviously, we talked to Ben Brode. They got a lot of things on their plate. But come on, the way we do it in podcast land is
this
a good
show
idea.
is not to be. This show does not exist to be reasonable and realistic. Okay, we are here to sit here like whiny little children and say, "I want, I need." Wouldn't it be cool if
my free game's not good enough? Yeah,
give me all the features now.
Hey, this game is not free for you. And
that's true. This game has cost me more than almost any other game outside of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, exactly. And that's only because of time, sir. Yeah. That's just because I've been playing WoW for the better part of a decade.
Oh my god.
But Cody, man, thanks for calling in.
Appreciate your time, guys. Keep up great work.
Not a problem, man.
Thank you.
Jocelyn, how's your collection coming?
Not too bad. I have almost every card. The ones that I'm missing are legendaries. I think I have all but a couple, like 1 or 2.
And they're like the auto shred legendaries, right? Like Mukla.
I see how it is.
The ones.
Yeah, no, I don't have Mukla
right away.
Which, by the way,
I had Mukla and I dusted him.
Everyone listening live, keep calling in. Everyone's being like polite and waiting until someone leaves, but there's stream lag, folks. Just pile in. I'll add you when I can. Just keep calling.
Yeah, we'll get you in there.
I'm doing pretty well getting golds actually. But I haven't dusted a gold card since I first started collecting because I just really like them. They're so pretty, and they're so expensive to craft that whenever I open them, I just keep them.
I don't dust any golds anymore because I eventually want to have all the golds, so it's just I just hold on to it. But I'm starting now to craft the common cards that I use in a lot of decks to make double gold for those ones, so I can use like harvest.
So you can look really fancy.
Gold harvest golems and stuff, because they'll go in a lot of decks, And now I
like the gold cards that like give you other gold things. So that like you get so much more value for your gold. You look all blingy.
Web spinner is great for that. You get you'll get gold king crush out of that thing sometimes.
Yeah, right?
Or gold angry chicken.
Oh, shit. We just lost the call. What happened there? I don't know what happened there.
Thunder!
Yeah. We need our theme song.
Yeah, as it's like something happened there with that. Let's see. Is this gonna break it? No.
No, there you go.
Good.
Hello, caller.
Austin's
What's your name?
so
Where are you calling
angelic
from?
with her very bright lighted room, by the way.
Clearly, you know that's a lie.
Caller,
Sorry, do we have a caller? Did I interrupt? I'm sorry.
what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jocelyn and Dills know me as Sparky Shocker. I'm calling from Carmel Valley,
what up, dude?
California.
Nice.
Well, welcome to the show.
Go Giants.
Yep.
By the way, they just started, didn't they? I gotta see.
Yeah.
So, what's your question?
Question, and I kind of talked with Dills about this at the SF Throwdown tournament. I play Warrior almost exclusively. I play Control Warrior for the most part. At that tournament, I wasn't expecting to, but I should have to play two different classes. So I net decked out in the parking lot 2 decks and threw them together. And actually, the only deck that won was the Token Paladin. Do you see there being tournaments once Hearthstone gets, the tournament aspect in, where you'll be able to play the same class, but maybe 3 different decks? Or do you think I should start, playing multiple classes?
I would like to see different versions of tournaments. Right now we're kind of in this rut where everyone's kind of doing the same thing. Everyone's doing this kind of, kill format where basically you bring 3 different decks, and every time you lose with a deck, it gets taken out, and you have to move to a new deck. But watching Kibler play in that tournament the other day, and him talking about how he wanted to see more of a tournament where you just play one class, maybe you play a Swiss format or something, and it's really about building one really good deck, not mastering a bunch of matchups. I think that's a really good idea, and I'm hopeful that at some point we start seeing varied tournaments where you can come with just a Control Warrior deck, or just a aggro Warlock, or a mid-range Hunter, and just try to beat the field with that deck. And just try to play differently in different matchups rather than have to try to counter the deck that you just lost to and do the rock, paper, scissors thing. I would like to see more of that.
I think
it would change the tournament scene quite a bit.
I think it'd be less entertaining from a spectator point.
Possibly. I think that's debatable, because I think that while it might be fun to watch a lot of different decks get played, I think watching somebody master a single deck would also be very entertaining too. So
I was going to say, it would be really interesting because clearly of the 3 of us, I am the non-tournament player. I am the tournament watcher. And it's really not as entertaining to watch somebody just play Miracle Rogue and then Control Warrior. It's like, I've seen those decks. I know those decks. Where I struggle with the game, and I think a lot of people struggle with the game, is deck building. So to see somebody sit there and go, okay, this is my Control Warrior, but I just can't get past his whatever, and making those like additions and subtractions to an existing deck, I think a lot of people would learn a lot, and I think it would be a lot more interesting to watch.
No, absolutely. I think, you're right on that. It would be interesting to watch someone come up with a deck that beats almost everything, rather than one deck that beats one thing and one deck that beats another thing and one deck that it's just. That's, I think,
I
where
feel
it's
like
a little.
Garrett is quietly raging right now.
I'm not quietly raging.
I'm just valid point on this as well.
I'm just trying to imagine right now. What if there was a tournament that was doing that, and it was taking the meta of right now into effect, and it's like, oh, cool. 12 players are invited. 11 of them are playing Hunter. I can't wait to watch this.
But the thing is that there's another meta game in that, where if everyone's bringing Hunter, then you bring something that beats Hunter, and then you just win the tournament because you brought that one deck that beats Hunter.
Well, in my terrible scenario where 11 people are playing Hunter and one is not, if that one gets eliminated in the first round, that's the most boring tournament to watch in existence.
No, and I absolutely agree. I think that because of the deck size of Hearthstone, the way things have kind of shaken out makes a lot of sense. With 60 cards, you can build a deck that might have, and with a 15-card sideboard, you can build a deck that has, some tweaks you can do to beat almost anything. And in Hearthstone, it's tough to do that with 30 cards because then you're talking about 5-card sideboard or something.
Yeah, and
they're all the same.
The two copies of a single card stipulation is another big one for Hearthstone as well. But yeah. But
I would like to see some more Swiss being played though at a high level. I'd like to watch a Swiss tournament on Twitch on a Saturday where we see all these guys play everybody else and they all use one deck, and then you just kind of see how it shakes out. I think there's room for both kinds of tournaments. I don't think that we're stuck in this style and that's the only way it's going to work. I think that there could be a lot of different ways to do tournaments. I hope we start seeing more people take a chance and just see how it works, and then we can determine what actually works best. Because right now, no one's really trying it yet, you know?
Yeah, I really want a limited format somehow, and it's not going to exist until Blizzard decides that it does.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to do a proper arena tournament at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. So. But okay, so the tournament I played, though, when I got second to Chalky, that was one class. I played Warlock. That was it. And you could sideboard as much as you wanted in between games and rounds. So actually throughout that tournament, my deck changed slowly over time. And, you know, there was one match where I went up against, and it was best 2 out of 3. So there's one game where I started in the first game, I lost to Handlock, and then I changed my deck and just destroyed his Handlock because I threw in 2 big game hunters and, you know, just basically tailored my deck to then beat Handlock. And that was actually a really interesting thing when you played out from round 1 and then 9 rounds later being in the finals, how my deck had kind of altered itself over that period of time. And that was really interesting. I think that there is room for that. I don't know. I would like to see it. And you know, when you say, Sparky, that you play one class exclusively, then that opens the game up for guys like you to come in and say, I can win with my Control Warrior, but I have to play some other deck that I don't really know. And that's what Kibler said, too. He had 2 decks that he'd played. And then he came in, and all of a sudden, on the last day, he had to make 2 new decks that he didn't know how to play at all. And then there was this ban phase where they banned his best deck, and his point was that it sucks for the viewer because they don't get to watch me play my best deck. The whole strategy changes from beat my best deck to just get rid of it and never have to deal with it. And is that really more fun for the viewer to just never have to see the good decks, or, you know? So
I'm not sure I like the banning thing at all. I don't think I like it.
Interesting, but I don't know if it's
I think they're trying too hard to make it similar to MOBAs, and I don't think that needs to happen in card games.
Sure.
I don't.
It's not a MOBA, exactly. Like that's the thing that works in MOBAs because
there's 100 plus friggin' heroes.
And there's also crazy balance issues. Yeah, whereas with Hearthstone, it's 9 classes. There shouldn't really be balance issues
very
to the point that we need to ban something.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's a great question, man. That's really cool. Are you gonna be at any of the final 10 remaining Giants games?
I'm going to the one next week on Wednesday and maybe Tuesday since it's Gamers Night. But...
Oh, you're gonna be there on Tuesday?
Okay. I want to.
You definitely come. We're gonna be there. We got press box and stuff like that for that game, so we'll be there and we're gonna go early. We actually apparently were given. For anybody who's confused, I'm talking about the San Francisco Giants right now. Sparky's a big.
That would
Giants
be me and Jocelyn. Jocelyn and I are just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Huh? What?
But baseball.
Sports ball.
We had asked for a Hunter Pence interview, and the guy who handles the relations, the media relations and stuff for the Giants, he came up to us. Yeah, the relations. We're gonna have relations with Hunter Pence. So he came up to us before the last game and said, rather than try to set up some interview with Hunter Pence, why don't I just give you guys clubhouse access? So for the next couple games, we're going to have full clubhouse access. So we're hopefully going to have like an interview with Hunter Pence and all that stuff. And so, yeah, we'll be at that game. We'll be there early for the big party and all that. So if you come by, man, we got to hang out. Got to have a beer.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go Giants?
A little add-on to my question. Even if we don't see, single class or single deck tournaments, do you think maybe, somebody that could play one class but 3 different decks? Where it's discarding your decks, kind of sideboard-like, but not, completely.
I mean, in a way, that's what sideboarding accomplishes, right?
Yeah.
You kind of alter the same version of the deck. The problem I think with Hearthstone is the sideboards are too obvious and there's not enough thought that goes into them. Whereas maybe with and Gary, you can probably speak to this more. I think with Magic, there's some more intricacies around that.
Right.
Whereas Hearthstone is basically like throw a news in,
And it depends on the format too. I always make it a point to try my best not to miss my local sealed tournaments. And in sealed tournaments, they don't give a crap what you do. You can sideboard as much as you want. You can completely change your deck. If I start the night with a black-white deck, I can end the night with a green-blue, and no one gives a shit. But that's that format. If I go into a draft tournament or heaven forbid a constructed tournament, which I'll never do because I can't afford it, it's completely different. And I think that's what we're trying to find with Hearthstone right now is the different formats that work from not only being in it as a competitor angle, but also as a spectator.
What's fun to watch? Yeah, because very important. Obviously,
because it's online all the time. Hopefully, we're getting an observer mode very soon. It just lends itself so delightfully to spectating. So I think actually
that's more of a concern in Hearthstone than it ever is in Magic.
I can't stand. I find it very hard to watch Magic.
It's you can't understand what the hell's going on. People draw a card and then I don't know what that was. Like he's just got it in his hand now, and if he's Kibler, he's shuffled it already like 15 times and back into his hand. So.
You need really good commentators for live Magic, and there are some really good ones out there.
But I think, though, how long did it, and Garrett, you probably know this again more than me, but how long did it take Magic to figure out the tournament format that's kind of stuck?
Oh, hell if I know that. I have no idea.
Okay. I'm sure it took some time.
Magic has been around for a very long time, and I have only been playing it for a few recent years. So I haven't even attended a Grand Prix yet. I'm going to my first Grand Prix next month. I'm so excited.
Nice.
I'm so stoked. But, anyways, Sparky Shocker, dude, thank you for your questions. Very good questions. You got Dills and I to disagree, which is the sign of a good question.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Have a good one, dude.
See ya.
For the Horde.
For the Horde.
And go Giants.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to try and add some of the people who called, and I missed your call, so...
we got the Jen.
If she picks up.
If she picks up, okay.
Oh, she's here.
Hooray.
Hey, the Jen. Can I just call you Jen? Because that's hard to work into.
You can call me Jen.
I appreciate it.
I thought she was going to say, you can call me anything. And I was like, whoa.
Hey-o.
I'm married. I can't,
I'll call you Rogue based on your Skype avatar.
You call me specifically Jen.
As my husband's probably confused right now. Who's she talking
to? Two dudes and a woman?
Yeah, right. It's all right. He knows that all my gamer friends are guys, so it's fine.
Ow!
I know. There's just not that many gamer chicks that are fun to. Well, there's a few.
There's Jocelyn, and then
I was gonna say
throwing your own gender under the bus.
I'm actually really excited, to be honest. Like, this is one of the first games in a long time where there's been a female gamer that's got as much airtime, like Hafu, for example. That's actually been really cool.
She's qualified for BlizzCon too. She proved herself in my eyes. A lot of people who talk crap on her stream. It's like, come on, guys, you there's no more crap to talk. She's absolutely proven herself as being one of the top Hearthstone players.
Yep. Yeah, it had been something we were hoping for a long time in StarCraft, and it was a long time until we got a consistent female player.
No, I agree. That's why it's actually really awesome to be a part of Hearthstone, just because there's definitely a lot more females that are out there doing it, so it's fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very cool. By the way, the Jen, I just want to point out, I'm gonna call her the Jen because that's just what I do. She is very, very frequently participant in my stream and always really, really fun to have in the chat room. So I appreciate it. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, Jim, what's up? Do you have a question for us?
I guess I have. I'll ask a question that's been kind of interesting since all these new cards came out. I know some of you guys have had some favorite cards, not for the power of the card, but your favorite card because of either what it says, like what the little emote is, or maybe how it looks when you use a golden version. What's your favorite card right now, as far as what's out there?
Just Nax or in general?
In general, but I know that Nax just added a bunch of new ones. Like, for example, my favorite Easter egg right now is actually when you're playing against KT and you try to play a hunter deck and you drop the animal companion, you end up with Mr. Bigglesworth. That's like so far my favorite.
That was going to be
egg.
mine.
That was pretty high up
sorry,
there.
Jocelyn.
That's all right. I'll think of another one.
No, that's pretty epic. I think out of the entire set, my favorite card is the Mad Scientist right now. It's just, I mean, obviously he says for science, and that's awesome because, you know, but I just like I like what that minion does. I like the idea of nabbing something out of your deck and putting it into play right away. I want more things that do that, and we're starting to see some more weirdness like that coming out with some of these Nax cards. So I think it's a cool place to kind of start and get the ball rolling on that type of mechanic being part of the game.
Yeah, but until now it was pretty much what, like Warlocks had shitty demon fetch cards, and then Hunters had tracking, which was an amazing fetch card.
Sure, but even then, you're fetching cards out of your deck and putting them in your hand. We haven't had one that put it into play yet.
Oh, that's true. But even that aside, fetching in other card games is a very strong mechanic, and it has really been locked out to only a couple classes in Hearthstone's existence. And now with the new Nax cards, there's with the inclusion of the Mad Scientist, anyone can do it now if you have secrets.
Yeah. So there's basically 3 classes that can do it.
Right, and one of them already could because it was a hunter. But nonetheless...
but what it did, though, is it took secrets that kind of sucked in general and made them good again, which is another cool thing it did. So that card had a big impact. I think it's just a fun addition. And like things like Void Caller, I think, are really cool, too. Pulling something straight out of your hand and putting it onto the deck is really cool. But this has kind of the special place right now in Hearthstone where it grabs it right out of your deck, puts it right into play. No mana cost, no nothing.
Yeah.
The randomness, obviously, is what keeps it in line and keeps it balanced. But it's definitely, I think, my favorite card right now.
Yeah, for me, it's the Web Spinner. And it's the same sort of idea where, like, you don't get it right out into play. You have to use the actual mana to cast the card, but at the same time, like, you have access to cards that you may not necessarily have in your collection, which I think is a really, really cool mechanic. Like, you can be a fully new, just downloaded the game today player, and you can pull any beast in the game, which, there was no way to do that before now. So that's why a Web Spinner for me is just, it's so much fun right now.
I've gotten the legendary twice, too, off of it in the last couple days, and every time that happens, it's like the most epic thing ever to have 2 of them in hand.
It makes the Hunter v Hunter games actually really interesting, too, because they're never quite the same. And it's similar with, say, like playing Priest, where you play Thoughtsteal, and so your games are never quite the same because you don't know what you're going to Thoughtsteal, so it makes the games really interesting. And you bring in the RNG, but then the skill is, working with that random element and making it work for you in your favor. So I love that card too. Good call, Jocelyn.
Thank you. And I said fully new player, not fully nude player. Thank you, chat room.
I, for one, play Hearthstone way better when I'm fully nude.
Fully nude, absolutely. That is the way to play.
That's just me. I'm not sure if it's because I'm in better because I'm fully nude or because it's a combination of the two. Did I just give too much away?
Never. No such thing. You live in Florida. We expect you to be fully nude all the time.
It is right now. It has been 99 plus like every day. It's too hot for clothes. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I apologize to everyone out there who has had to deal with my pasty.
So that's
skin.
what Florida man is doing. He's just trying to cool off. Okay. All right.
I'd have to say my favorite. I mean, from Naxxramas, I think I got to go with Sludge Belcher.
Oh. Okay.
Because A, it's a really freaking good card, and B, it's so disgusting when it attacks. The sound it makes when it attacks is absolutely grotesque, and I love it. If for no other reason than because I love pissing off my buddy Kyle from Into the Nexus, because he loves making just themed decks that are terrible but somehow beat me, and he refuses to play Sludge Belcher because it's disgusting. So I run it in every deck I ever play against him because he doesn't like listening to it. And
it's a really good card.
Awesome.
And it's a good card.
It's basically one of the best cards that came out. I mean, there's a lot of people have kind of flirted with other cards, maybe thinking they're the best, but consistently that card makes it into probably more decks than almost anything else, outside of Lotheb, obviously.
I know it's got to be one of the best because it frustrates me the most whenever it's played on me.
I hate
you have lethal and suddenly you don't because you could have gotten through one taunt, but two, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
I hate seeing it played against me. I get mad even when I have my own Sludge Belcher out and they play a Sludge Belcher. I'm just like, how the hell do I deal with this? This isn't fair. And I'm looking at my own also sitting there, and I'm still going, this isn't fair.
They're not allowed to screw me back.
This card's too good.
What about you, the Jen? What's your favorite card in the game?
That's tough. I've been playing a lot of Paladin lately, and I think I'm really into the Easter eggs. I love it. I love that they built those in. Like my favorite is when they get down, when he's still there, and he gets to play again, and he gets to yell, I live! I live! That's like one of the best things that they built in are all those fun Easter eggs. So I've definitely got to give it there. But, out of just for fun's sake, I got to say, I know it gets a lot of bad. It doesn't play well, but Duplicate is just having like 8 of the same card when you can only have 2 in a 30-card deck is actually just really fun. I know it's not very useful, but it's just fun.
It is. I think it's one of those cards that, even if we've ragged on it, it is a really fun card. It's one of those cards where you say, suddenly I have, I've got 3 Karens I've played now in this game, and that kind of stuff is really cool. And I love the fact that there's cards that they may not be good, but they have a place in this game, because when you just play against your buddy and you come up with, like when me and Jocelyn the other night we were just playing, we're like, let's play. You played a deck with all dudes, and I played a deck of all girls.
Of all ladies,
and like that kind of stuff. Like you can play like weird decks against each other, and there's cards that fit into that. So yeah.
That being said, where are the dwarf legendaries? Like seriously, that's like my biggest complaint. I love dwarves. It's like the only alliance race I really, really enjoy, and there's like hardly any. So hopefully that'll come. I'm hoping for it.
That's a very good point. Yeah, there's
a ton of dwarves in general now that I'm thinking about it.
King Magni or whatever his name is.
Magni Bronzebeard.
Or like Moira Therusian is like really awesome. She's pretty cool. That would be kind of neat.
You could have what's his name from all the Ulduar dungeons, and his effect would be he would just talk until the other opponent kills himself because he's sick of waiting.
Oh, that was a Bronzebeard guy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Bran Bronzebeard.
Bran. Now I'm going to talk for the next 5 minutes.
Here's another Easter egg. What does the Doomsayer say when he attacks? Anybody know?
Doomsayer. I don't. I'm going to look it up.
Because Doomsayer has to get silenced, then buffed to be able to attack. So it's very rare that you get a Doomsayer that actually attacks.
Oh.
Okay.
We know that when he comes out, he says, "The end is coming."
Yeah.
Does he say like I was wrong or something like that, or maybe next time?
I guarantee chat room knows.
Apparently, he says this.
Did I miss it?
There it is. Yep. Did I miss it? Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's one. It's going to be very rare when you actually get to hear that guy attack. There's other cool things, like they had to build in priest attacks. Because when priest actually thought steals a weapon, priest will get to attack and things like that. There's all kinds of fun little Easter eggs in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so much like heart and just little. There's so much flavor to Hearthstone, and I love it. It's good. Yeah. It's good. But Jen, thanks for calling in.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for taking my question.
All right, let's try calling another person who I missed the call of. Let's see. Invite to group call. Is this working? I think it's working.
I think it's working.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I know who this is.
I've seen this face on Twitter many, many times.
I'm all over Twitter. Yeah. I'm Manny. I've been following the show since the very beginning. Apparently knew Jocelyn from way before the show, and then ended up running in circles and reacquainting myself with her.
Yeah, we actually, I worked at the movie theater with his best friend back in Ontario when I was like 17.
Whoa.
Totally random.
That is
awesome.
As random as it gets.
Nice to actually talk to you, Manny. I feel like we chat on Twitter all the time.
Oh, really? I say just annoying comments, and you sometimes laugh.
You try to incite the Garrett rage? Yeah.
No.
You can pretty much just hashtag Garrett rage, and then that just starts it off.
No, there's some some folks on Twitter that if they were to call in, I would just be like, "You, I know you." So, if I'm going, I recognize you, and it sounds happy, it's a good sign.
Oh no, it's good because I keep switching back and forth between Team Jocelyn and Team Garrett because it's just.
I should be the one who's saying, "You son of a bitch! You've never been Team Dills."
Never won.
Dills has so many followers. I don't need to jump on that bandwagon.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate the charity.
I could always use more.
That didn't go how you planned it, did
it? And Dills does things that he does things.
He does stuff.
I do. Yes.
No, it's great talking with you guys, but I keep wondering when I'm doing like my runs on Arena, how in the world I'm supposed to actually anticipate the different things that happen. When I'm doing Constructed, I pretty much know what kind of decks I'm going up against within the first 2 or 3 moves. But in Arena, I have no idea what to expect, and I'm asking how do I deal with that? You
don't know, and you have to just play the odds is really the way it works. You have to kind of assume you play around the common cards, you play around the rare cards because those are going to actually be in the deck. You don't ever play around epics and you don't play around legendaries. The problem is it's not offhand knowledge what the epics and legendaries are that you don't have to play around. It takes a little bit of experience and getting used to, but in general, you just kind of move at your own pace and only play around the cards that they're probably going to have. Swipes, Flame Strikes, Consecrates, True Silver Champions, Fiery War Axe. These are the things you got to watch out for. But yeah, you never know. You never know. And you can't say, oh, he's already played 3 swipes. He probably doesn't have a 4th because
he probably does.
Very easily could have the 4th. So I think one of the things that makes Arena play so fun. I know Garrett probably disagrees with that statement that it's fun for that reason, but
I'm not. I agree. That's why I like limited any card game, and that's why I really want a way to play competitive limited in Hearthstone.
Sure. Yeah. I think the real answer is play around everything, but don't assume things like Pyroblast. Don't assume Pyroblast. Whereas back in the day, you had to assume Pyroblast. You got to kind of know what those cards are that are unlikely that they're going to have them.
Yeah.
Big Game Hunter. That's an epic card. It's not going to come up more than once or twice that there's epics at all in an Arena draft. I feel like epics are really rare in Arena. So, you don't really have to play around that card. You don't have to play around Faceless Manipulator. But when you're playing against a handlock, they're going to have Faceless Manipulators when they play an 8/8. You got to kill that thing if you can before they Faceless it. But you don't have to do that stuff. So you just play around the common cards. That's all you can really do. And hope for the best.
Yeah, what I tell a lot of people when they're getting into Arena and they're asking very similar questions like you, Manny, is to not worry so much. Play to your deck. Worry about your deck. Don't worry. You should worry significantly less about your opponent's deck in Arena, because if you're playing your deck to the best of your ability and to the best possible scenarios that your deck can even provide you, like say you play a card that has high health that has spell damage, hoping that next turn you'll top deck a swipe so that you can clear their board. You should probably do that. Because what's the negative that could happen? Okay, they could have removal and they could remove that card and you're screwed next turn. But there's a good chance they don't, and you have no control over anyway, so you might as well play that card.
Yeah, I find that in Arena, even more than Constructed, I play more often to develop my own board rather than always worry about clearing the other guy's board. And in Constructed, I'm much more worried about clearing the other guy's board because of the high probability that there's a plan around the cards they've played. And if I don't clear their board, they could do very bad things to me with that board.
Paladins petrify me, man. They put out that 1/1 token. I'm like, you have a Kings. I know you have a Kings, you bastard. I'm killing that thing.
In Arena play, it's I would find it better to play my own 5-drop rather than use 3 of my mana to kill that creature and then my hero power. A lot of times I'd rather just develop my own board. So I think that's another thing to do is just concentrate more on making sure your board is moving in a positive direction rather than always worrying about wiping the other guy and all that kind of stuff. And yes, sometimes it bites you in the ass when they have the perfect answer. But in general, you force them to have the answer because a lot of times in Arena, you don't get to draft the answer. And you just kind of assume that they didn't, and then sometimes they have it, and you suck, and you lose, and whatever. But it's you can't play around everything in Arena because you have to, anything can happen. So, yeah, don't concern yourself with always worrying about what the other guy has or knowing what kind of deck he has. You're never going to know, so you have to just play your deck out and just try to draft for like a good quality cards and all that kind of stuff and just play it out,
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's going to speak towards how I build decks in Arena because in Constructed, I love control. Like the big thing that I did different from Constructed where I actually got up to about like rank 4 or 3 was when I had broken away from that, did Hunter, as Jocelyn was suggesting, with some unusual cards.
Angry chicken?
No, come on. Don't put that.
It was using the Demolisher. And
Great card.
Yeah.
They should call it the Demolisher Moffat because it's like Jocelyn's. It is her signature card at this point. Yeah. Even more than Eye for an Eye. She's broken away from Eye for an Eye.
Thank you. Finally.
Yeah, people don't know what to expect with like a little mini Ragnaros so early, and then you there's mark one thing and let it go off, and it works. Yeah, so
pretty cool.
Thanks for all the episodes. I love it.
Oh, right on, man. Thank you for participating so much, by the way, because we do have a lot of people who listen to the show who are clearly silent listeners, and that's fine, but we really thrive off of the people like you who are constantly asking us questions on Twitter and engaging us in conversation and stuff.
I've never done a show that's had this much audience participation, and it's just ballin' as hell.
It is ballin' as hell, correct, Garrett.
Whenever I get into Heroes of the Nexus, I'm sure I'm going to participate in that show, but right now I'm just like writing down notes and being like, oh, so that's how that's supposed to work.
Yeah. Do you draw diagrams? Because I draw diagrams while they're talking.
Oh my.
So it's just a little note of, so Ben likes Frostmourne.
Yeah. Team Ben. Now I get to be on Team somebody now. Yeah.
True.
Only because Ben is just clearly smarter than everybody in the room everywhere he goes, I think.
And little tie-ins. So I'm waiting for the next Angry Chicken Invitational. I have my dream match of you versus Ben.
Oh.
Nice.
Boy. We got to do an Angry Chicken Open at some point, though. We really do. Like patrons or whatever. I don't know how we do it, but it would be fun as hell.
I'm waiting for Observer Mode.
Whenever they get
that would be important for that.
That would be nice. Blizzard.
But it's okay, Blizzard.
Broad.
No judgments. All the judgments.
Broad and Woo, I know you're listening.
They are listening. By the way, congrats to Woo. Have we congratulated him on Legends yet? Finally got Legend last week.
Did on Twitter, but yeah, congrats to Young Woo, who won, who made it to Legendary.
Official live congrats to Woo.
And then the first of the month came, and no more.
And you're not a Legend
anymore. Now do it again, Young Woo. Do it again.
I'm glad he made it because I just expect a bunch of angry people being like, "You can't design this game. You're not Legendary."
Yeah, I know, right? You know what I love too is they added reels now to the team as far as game design goes, and I love that they're pulling from some of the high-ranked players. It's unfortunate he's now going to be gone from the tournament scene because I really liked his deck building. I liked the way he played the game. He was one of the only players I saw do one of the things that I'm surprised more players don't do, which is concern himself with telegraphing what he has in his hand. So if you notice, and I think he does this very purposely, he swoops through his cards over and over again. And then even if he knows he doesn't have a move, or if he knows what his move is, he takes the same amount of time, and then he makes the move. So you can't look at how long he's thinking about something and then know what's in his hand. That's something I'm surprised more people don't pay attention to, and he was one of those guys who did. So that guy is definitely a good guy to have on the team. So good
Yeah.
job, Blizzard, to pick up that dude.
Yeah, good on them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Manny, man, thanks for calling in, and thanks for obviously supporting the show.
I'll talk to you again. Well, 50-50 chance I'll talk to you again.
50-50, yeah.
I think it's a higher chance, but yeah.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
See you, man. Oh, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah, that's awesome about Reels. This kind of stuff happens all the time with card games that are played competitively. Down the road, he might come back to competing. You never know.
Sure.
So,
But
and
I
if
mean,
he
I
doesn't,
think he's very valuable to the team right
Right.
now because he's a guy who's very heavily entrenched in that tournament scene, and I hope that what he brings to the table is not only someone who's getting on their asses about getting observer mode out because it's going to help that scene, but also because he has that deep knowledge and he knows what the mind of a tournament player is going to look like, and it makes it very more like the future of esports as far as Hearthstone is concerned is very bright with moves like that. So
yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, anyways, I think that'll about do it for this hangout, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. That was really fun.
Great. Thanks for calling in, guys. And I'm glad that the tech held up and that Dills didn't have a headset that was dying every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's true. My headset at the other thing, I don't know what the hell that was all about. I don't even think that was a headset.
Jiggle it, Dills. I'm jiggling it. Nothing's happening.
I kept trying to find the button that I had pushed or something. There was no button.
Oh, it's great. Well, guys, again, big thanks to our patrons because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this extra episode.
Absolutely.
We've got 217 patrons pledging over $1,300, just shy of $1,400 a month for this show, and that's just insane. Thank you guys so damn much. I don't know. It's just every time I'm just like, this is insane. You're all insane. You're all crazy, and I love it.
Well, it really feels good because I've been doing the podcasting thing for a long time. It's the first time I can reliably collect a check at the end of the work, and
yeah.
Before
I thought you were going to say it's really nice to have the monthly interaction with people.
No, it is. But the thing is that you do this podcasting thing for the amount of time I've been doing it now, and it's just a thing you do, and the benefit is just that, is only that. And now there's oh my God, I could pay for my car.
Yeah, you had to buy a car last month, and
I did, and that's a
this
big
really
burden.
helped. I mean,
you guys are helping me out, being able to not be homeless, and I get to still do this. So
exactly,
same exact thing here.
The
literally,
right. The support from the patron, it allows us to do more stuff like this.
Yeah,
and
it's fully appreciated.
And
because
I'm brainstorming more milestones, so we'll talk about that, and we'll let you know when they're up on the Patreon. But
yeah, because we could probably find something to do at 2,000 or 2,500.
I've got some ideas, guys.
Yeah.
One of them being the future of card reviews, because the next set's going to be massive, and I have no idea how we're going to tackle it.
100 cards, man, and it's going to be all at once.
I have no idea how we're going to tackle that. I'm going to have
By the way, we're going to talk about that next week because this news hit kind of now, although we kind of knew.
We've been floating around that figure for a while. I don't think it's really news to say that it's officially more than 100 cards, because we knew it was going to be around there.
Yeah, officially more than 100 cards, officially booster packs, and no big expansion.
We knew officially booster packs is. We talked about booster packs last week.
We did, yeah.
And we talked about no expansion, right?
Yeah, but it was all still somewhat conjecture. It was,
Yeah, well, booster packs were confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That was what's his face? I don't even remember the guy's name.
Yang Wu.
That's his face. Yeah, pretty sure that was Yang Wu's interview, dude.
I thought it was the guy who was
Yang Wu, or otherwise known as what's his face.
No, I thought it was the guy that was on turn 2, who is not as out
Taneus?
there.
Yeah.
And I forget his name.
No, I thought it was Yang Wu's
Yang Wu's, yeah.
He also said that, but the turn 2 interview was before that, and that was the last week when we talked about that.
No, Garrett!
You're wrong.
Fine. I quit.
But we still love
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
You can't quit. You do everything.
You are my favorite.
Aw. That's
hey.
That's
Jocelyn's my favorite. Never mind.
Don't go down this road, man. It's a bad road to go down. I've been down this road in the past. It was Mike Denies.
Dills lies to me when he's drunk. It's fine.
Mike Denies. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the one who you will need to purchase expert booster packs, and it will be a different booster pack. So There it is. Anyways, thanks again to our patrons, patreon.com/TAC. Thank you guys so damn much. Thanks for calling in. If you didn't call in this week, we'll be doing another one. Technically this month, we're a little late on this one. It's the 2nd. It's still technically the August Hangout. But we'll be doing another one in a few weeks. Head to patreon.com/TAC for all of the info about what the Skype account is that you need to add so you can call in. Head on over there. That's what everyone did today, and it worked beautifully. So much better than last time.
Yeah,
so
this was good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. As always, you can email us, tacpodcast@gmail.com, at TAC Podcast on Twitter. I can be found at Garrett Art. Dills is at Willie Dills, and Jocelyn is at GIS Gamer. Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next week for the next proper Angry Chicken episode. That'll be episode 44.
Whoa.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Job's done.
No one else say it. It's it. It's over. Done.
Yes!